Every night, for hundreds of thousands of years, falling asleep could get you killed. Somewhere on the Eurasian steppe, 30,000 years ago, a small group of people did the most dangerous thing they would do all day. They went to sleep. And the moment they did, every predator within earshot had an advantage. A sleeping human cannot hear a branch snap, cannot smell smoke from a rival group's fire, cannot do anything at all. Deep unconsciousness is not a rest state. For a forager, it was the single window in every 24 hours when the group was genuinely defenseless. Researchers studying the Hadza of Tanzania, one of the last groups still living as foragers, recorded their sleep patterns over weeks. What they found was that over any given night, the entire group was never fully asleep at the same time. Not once in 20 nights of observation. At any given hour, roughly 1 or 2 members were in a light arousal state, not fully awake, not fully under, while others slept more deeply. Nobody assigned this. There was no roster, no watch schedule. It emerged on its own, the same way every night. The people in that shallow state were not resting poorly. They were doing exactly what the group needed, staying close enough to conscious to notice something wrong. This pattern shows up across forager groups on 3 continents: the Tsimane in Bolivia, the Juhoansi in Namibia, the Martu in Australia. Different climates, same rhythm. Here's where it gets interesting. Archaeologists excavating Upper Paleolithic shelters found something they were not expecting on the floors. Patches of floor that had been repeatedly warmed by fire. Not random, arranged in specific zones, each one roughly the size of a sleeping human body. Beside each warmed patch, small personal tools, scrapers, needles, blades, clustered tightly, as if someone had set them down within arm's reach before lying down. When you map all of it together, the cleared zones, the tool clusters, the heat patches, a pattern appears. The sleeping positions were not random. The positions closest to the shelter entrance, the most exposed spot, consistently show the lightest tool assemblages. Fewer items, easier to grab, easier to move fast. The arc of bodies covered every approach angle to the shelter. If you drew the sensory reach of each sleeping person, the overlaps were nearly complete. Here is the argument that changes how you think about this. Sleep, for most of human history, was not a private biological event. It was a group activity with a structure. Biology sets the need for sleep. But the depth, the timing, the duration, those appear to have been shaped by who was sleeping next to you and what was outside. And it was not only predators outside. Ethnographic records note that deep sleep made individuals vulnerable to threats within the group as well. Disputes, theft, aggression. The deeper you trusted the people around you, the deeper you could afford to sleep. Social trust was not just emotional, it was a physiological resource. The waking intervals between sleep phases were not insomnia. They were functional, a chance to tend the fire, listen, check the group, and then go back under. None of this required a conversation. The coordination was built into the bodies of people who had been sleeping in groups for thousands of generations. You wake up at 2 in the morning and cannot get back to sleep. You call it insomnia. Your ancestors would have called it Tuesday. Sleep researchers studying pre-industrial populations found that 2-phase sleep, 4 hours, a waking interval, 4 more hours, was the default human pattern before artificial light. Sleeping alone in a large, quiet room is, in evolutionary terms, a very strange thing to ask a human body to do. The nervous system is still listening for the group. The architecture of human sleep, when you drop deep, when you surface, how long you stay under, was calibrated for a group of 8 to 15 people in a shared space. Whether the positions were consciously chosen or simply fell into place through habit and preference is a question archaeologists are still working through. But the bigger point stands. Sleep was not just something that happened to ancient humans. It was something they did together, and they were very deliberate about how. Your body still carries that calibration. The restlessness, the waking intervals, the light sleep in unfamiliar places, that is not a malfunction. That is 30,000 years of group survival, running exactly as designed. If this changed how you think about sleep, subscribe. There is a lot more human history that nobody told you about.